For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise. And you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. Thanks for tuning in on your favorite podcast app. I'm going to sound like a broken record when I say this, okay, everybody? Customer service ain't what it used to be. Although now they call it the customer experience. Have you heard that term, right? It's not service, it's the experience. It's the customer experience. Well, it's not necessarily a good experience. I think they've sort of replaced that service with experience as though that just means it's a good thing because it's an experience. You can have a really crummy experience, let me tell you. And I think that's what's happening nowadays because, let's be honest, employees aren't going to put up with your crap. We see that all the time, right? There's that show on, is it A&E? Customer Wars, where you've got, every customer who's pissed off is coming in with a phone in your face. And so some employees, I don't blame them for not taking your crap. But I don't know that that's the right attitude. If everybody would just sort of take those few steps back in the combativeness, then things might go better. So that's what we're talking about on the show today. It's all about customer service, the customer experience on The Scribble, and it starts right after this.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times already. I don't even know how many years have we been doing this podcast. This is episode 400 and something, so that's at least, I don't even know, 8 years, just some quick math. Anyhow, but and my story hasn't changed. Customer service ain't what it used to be, because back when I worked in retail, and I've told this story several times before, you did whatever you had to make that customer happy. Within reason, of course. I'm not saying giving them free access to your OnlyFans, but if that's what it takes nowadays, then so be it. But, when I worked every kind of retail, from selling luggage to clothing to party supplies. So the whole thing was that you wanted to do the job because it's going to make the customer happy, and you didn't want them to complain to your boss, right? That was always kind of the biggest threat to you as the employee was, I want to talk to the manager. Now, obviously, we know that's standard practice, right? That's the first thing, is like, I want the manager. I'm going to tweet the corporate office. I'm going to write. Well, and sometimes that works to scare companies, and sometimes it doesn't. We have, again, my husband and I have, a couple e-commerce stores. And so it's kind of funny to be on the receiving end of this, just somebody having a flip out. And you have to remember, one of them is a coffee store, the other one's a men's underwear store. So you kind of have to look at this and go, is this person really losing their shit over like a pair of underwear that doesn't fit them because they didn't know what their waist size was, so they bought the wrong size? They're taking it out on my person who's on the receiving end of those messages or emails. Like, really? You didn't know that you got a big ass and thighs that aren't going to fit a size small pair of underwear? And that's our problem? And you're going to freak out that you've got to pay to send it back? Yeah. Okay. And what? So you can go and, you can tweet and you can thrash the company and you can whatever. We said you can return it, but you have to pay the shipping. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, that's a small business as well, right? It's not Amazon. Amazon, well, maybe that's probably why people have kind of gone astray from this now, right? Is that Amazon now has that reputation of just saying to people, well, we'll refund it. You can keep it or throw it away if you don't. I mean, now people have figured out that game and just assume that other businesses are going to do that. And maybe the biggies like, Walmart, Costco, whatever, can do that. But I mean, why is my company, me, the owner, whatever, why am I going to pay to take it back because you didn't know what size you wear or didn't check the sizing measurements on a product page, why do I have to spend $10 for you to send it back to me, and then I'm going to pay another $10 to send you the correct one? Why is that? Again, you could say that that's good customer service for doing that, but if you're doing high volumes like that, okay, it could be a different story. I understand when it comes to other types of retail products, other clothing, maybe shoes or pants or something, but an undergarment like that, traditionally most people just kind of assume that you can't return it anyway. And, you can say, well, as long as it's unused and unworn. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't really know if it is or not, right? I mean, you can tell, obviously, if they bought it 6 months ago and they're trying to return it now. But it's just, so we'll go out of our way to, whether it's offer a gift card for another purchase or, maybe free shipping if they wanted to order a different size, if they don't want to send that one back, you do what you can, right? You offer alternatives. What I find now, though, is a lot of places are just going to flat out tell you no. Nope. Back in the day, when you would call like the 800 number and you'd be put on hold maybe for 5 minutes because they had to talk to their supervisor or whatever it was, you've kind of felt like you were going to get your way when they were coming back, right? The longer that it took was a good sign because they were either negotiating, they were looking something up, they were, trying to accommodate you. And now I feel it's the exact opposite, where it's like, I think that they're just trying to piss me off by putting me on hold even longer. And then coming back to me saying, no, I can't help you. And I'm not one of those people who is coming in with unreasonable demands on things, right? I mean, now if I'm feeling justified that I was overcharged or whatever, I'm going to start to get aggressive after a while. If you're telling me no, that you can't look into it or there's nobody there that can help me, I'm sorry, if your phone line is open 24/7, then somebody has to be there that can look into it. Then why are you open 24/7 if you don't have that position or that, whatever, supervisor or escalation team or whatever it goes to from that point? Then like, why is this a 24/7 thing? I pressed 3 for billing or whatever it was. If it's a 24-hour line, somebody's answering it, so put me through to somebody who can help me. I don't trust that there's nobody there that can assist me. Oh, well, our billing department is... Well, I pressed 3 for billing and somebody answered, so... And that's what I feel is happening with customers, is just because the employee isn't going to take your shit. They ain't got time for it. We got other calls. I'm not going to take your shit. No, sorry, can't help you. Can't do anything about it. That's it. Off the phone. Next call. And I don't think that they realize kind of what that does. And it depends on the company, right? Cell phone companies, right? It's overpriced. I don't need all these features. I'm one of the few people, by the way, who calls my cell phone company and says, I want less. I don't need, and they'll try to, this has happened too, where I'm calling to downgrade, I guess would be the term. I'm calling to lower my service, lower my monthly bill, lower the features, like just give me, not the bare bones minimum, but like pretty close to it. And then they'll go and say, well, we've got the 10 gigabyte plan for $5 more than what you're paying. And I'm sitting here going, did you just not hear? Is this a joke? Like, I'm saying that I want less and to pay less. And you're offering me an upgrade and to pay $5 more. Like that something doesn't, well, you're on the 2 gigabyte plan. Great. Give me 1 gigabyte. I don't even need 2 gigs. Well, we don't have that anymore. Well, you know what? What if you have like the grandma who just kind of needs the bare ass minimum? You're saying that she's going to have to pay you 50, 60, whatever dollars. And then what about like a $20, $25 plan? Now, don't get me wrong. I got the money. It's not about me not being able to afford a phone. I can afford a phone. It's that why am I paying for shit that I don't need? I mean, that was one of the big things when I first bought my house over 15 years ago now, was at the beginning, I had every TV channel known to man. I had lights on. I had the cupboards full. I had the fridge full. And it was just me. I was single. I was on my own. Why did I have a full fridge of almost like an entire produce section of a grocery store, and everything starts to go bad because I'm not eating it fast enough because it's just me? But I also grew up in a house where we had 5 people, and you did have a full fridge because you needed to have a full fridge. And so that's why I wrote a book about saving money, is because I started to make all these tweaks and go, wait a second, why am I spending all this when I don't need it? Why am I doing this when I don't? Why am I? And so, I'm wanting to lower my service because why would I pay for shit that I'm not even using? I don't care that I'm saving $10 by having more. I'm not using it. Like, are you wanting me to get more addicted to the device? Is that what you're saying? Is that you feel like I should be using 10 gigs and not like it just, so we had, now let me get to the point of the story after all that. We had a tree removed. When you're a homeowner, they always tell you when I say they, I mean like the experts, the housing people, the finance people, is get quotes from different companies, right? Don't just call up the one company and say, how much is it? Come and look at my roof, see how much it costs to replace it. Great, do it. You get other companies because, back to when I first moved into my house, I had to get new windows. I had four fairly large windows replaced. And one company, it was like $3,000, which I think was the one that I ended up going with. Then you had one that was almost like $7,000. I'm sitting there going, are these fucking bulletproof? Like, what is the price? A window is a window, I thought. Now people are going to go and say, no, a window is not a window. And I get that now. But, there's these price comparisons you want to shop around. And so we wanted to have a tree removed from in between our house and the neighbor's house. And I had emailed 4 companies. And we've got a few trees, with several trees actually on our property. And so I had messaged them, filled out the form. I didn't email. I filled out the form on their website and said, we're looking for a quote. Where can I send a picture of the tree so that, you don't have to come down here or whatever. Like and I can show you which tree it is that I'm talking about. I can't go and say, it's like the third one, because there's a bunch of them and they're, so first of all, 2 of the companies didn't reply. One sent just a ridiculous quote. And then one of them the next morning, we were just leaving the house. I don't remember where we were going, but it was a weekend morning. And so all of a sudden in the mailbox, there's an envelope that there's this quote. And I think I might have told this story on the show a while ago. And I'm sitting here going, how did they give me a quote when I didn't even tell them which tree it is? Like what? And they quoted the entirely wrong tree. Not even we're having one that's in the backyard. They quoted one that's like in the front yard in front of the house. And I was like, that's not even, and it's a good thing we didn't just go and say, yeah, let's go for it. We're going to come home and a giant pine tree in front of our house is going to be gone, which we didn't even want removed. So we ended up going with that company just because it was the cheapest. The guy and the owner ended up coming by and giving an updated quote. But anyway, so the tree comes down. I actually was home, even though I pretended that I wasn't. They said that you don't have to be home when the work is done. So I was like, okay, fine. But I was. And I could hear lots of F-bombs. Now, I swear on this show sometimes quite a bit, depending on my mood. But I feel like if you are providing me, and I'm your customer, and our neighbor has a young child as well. But I just there's a level of professionalism, I think. I'm sitting here shooting the shit, having a casual conversation. That's different than me being, you being my customer and me just swearing in front of you. And so when I'm hearing the swearing from inside my house with the windows closed, I'm hearing you F-bombing to your coworkers as you're cutting down the street. That also worries me, first of all, as the customer, because I'm sitting there going, what is happening out there? Why am I hearing, oh, fuck? Like is something going to come through my roof? Is something going to smash a window? Why am I hearing, oh, fuck? So that there was concerning. But then it was just that level of professionalism going, why am I... That would be like me having a plumber coming in and him looking, at the kitchen sink or something going, oh, yeah, no, you're fucked. Yeah, you're fucked. No, let's use a different word here. Let's. So anyway, so they come and do this job. They take down the tree, and we didn't get a bill in the mail. There was nothing. So I was kind of like, well, I'm not going to pay until they send me a bill. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they gave me the quote, but I mean, unless you give me an invoice, I don't have my account to pay it because there's nothing to pay. And then out of nowhere, the other morning, there was a ringing on the doorbell, and I don't know who that is. He's coming with a big recycling bin kind of a thing. And I was like, why is there some random dude at my front door with a recycling bin? It's not mine. I don't know. So I was just kind of not going to answer the door. Then my phone started ringing in my home office. We have landlines, by the way, but it was the phone in my office at home, not just the regular house phone. And I thought, okay, so I went and looked. It was a local number, but I was like, whatever, I don't know it. And so then all of a sudden the person comes into my yard, and so that has me kind of what is going on? Well, it was the tree company coming back to remove just the last, I guess, inch of stump or whatever was still in the ground. So I didn't know that. I mean, again, had I answered the phone or answered the front door, I would have known, but I'm cautious about that. So I was kind of like, okay. And then I saw, because we do have that big tree in the front, I ended up seeing through the tree, and I was like, oh, there is a truck out there. I'm like, okay. Then I saw the name of the company on the side of the truck. I was like, okay, they're coming back to do something, whatever. I don't know. And so then I'm kind of peering like through the kitchen window, which was, it's about 20 feet back from where the guy was working. And so I could kind of see, like, you know, you almost have like your face pressed right up against the window because that's how far you kind of had to look. And all of a sudden I see the wooden fence between our houses, my house and the neighbor. I see that like the wood is bending and then like breaking. Like the guy is basically like sawing up the fence, and he basically took out 4 of the boards or plank. I don't know what you call them in a wooden fence, but anyway. And I thought, oh my God. So now this is where I go and grab my phone. And I was like, okay, I'm going to start recording from the kitchen window. Again, the angle's kind of weird because you're sort of like right up against it. He wouldn't have really been able to see me where I was watching him from anyway. And I'm recording it. And as I'm narrating, I'm going, look at the fence is breaking. This is such and such company. I'm narrating in because, you know, basically like destroying the neighbor's fence. Like, look at this. The board is now in pieces on the ground. Like, and what is going on? So when he left, I guess he had like finished cutting the stump or whatever. I don't know the term. He was cutting the stump, trimming it down, whatever. He took that recycling bin kind of thing. I later realized that it was like wood chips or whatever that he was. And so he took that to his truck. So then because remember, he doesn't think that I'm home because I didn't answer the door and I didn't answer the phone. All of a sudden I appear, and when he comes around the corner to the backyard again, I've got my phone in my hand. Now I'm not holding my phone out and confronting him and doing the whole like, I'm just kind of clutching it to my chest with my arms folded and I'm holding the phone. So I don't even know that he knew that he was being recorded. And I just casually, I'm like, so who pays to fix this fence now? And he's like, he kind of looks stunned. He's like, oh, aren't you having that fence replaced? And I said, that's not my fence. That's the neighbor's fence. Oh, damn. I was under the impression that you were having this fence replaced. And I said, why would I, like, how would you, first of all, know that? Why would you know that my neighbor's having the fence replaced? Oh, you don't know, there's literally somebody down the street that's having their fence. And I thought, okay, so nevertheless, that gives you license to destroy property? Like that's just a very flimsy kind of thing. And when I went and said that's the neighbor's fence, like, it's not even facing, like, you know. And I said, so you're going to have the owner call me this week and you're going to have this fence fixed. Now, keep in mind, though, like I said, it's not my fence. So who am I to go and say it needs to be fixed this week? But I just did it because I was being a dick in the moment. And it's funny, too, because in the video, you're going to think that I was all Karen, but I was very just sort of professional because, you know, again, I know this. I know I took communications and I know how to deal with companies. And so I just kind of said, like, you know, the owner is going to come and you're going to fix this week because, and then I said, and I trust you're going to explain to the neighbor what happened to their fence because that's not my responsibility to tell them that you damaged their fence. Oh yeah, no, I'll go and I'll talk to them right now. Which I think it was like noon, so I don't even know that they were home. I don't think they were. And then I just emailed, so I uploaded the video to YouTube. No, I did it unlisted, so it wasn't like I was, you know, oh, such and such company did it unlisted, just sent the link to the owner, and I said, I do need you to ratify this or rectify it or you know, resolve this this week. And I trust that you're going to contact the homeowner and explain what you did to their property to apologize. And so the company emailed me back. It was several hours later, and he's like, oh, I apologize. You know, do you happen to have your neighbor's contact information? And I just didn't reply because I thought, well, no, I don't. That's not my, you figure this out. I'm not going to start going and giving people's personal information and whatever. I don't know what her, truthfully, I don't even know her name, but I was like, no, I didn't reply. Because here's the thing. They took out part of the Christmas lights on the front of our house with that, oh, fuck, when they were taking down the tree weeks earlier. And then you're just going to go and say like, oh, well, we thought your fence was being replaced. So like, it was... And so the video clip of the guy and he was a young guy, so it's not like he, you know, but you could tell he's put on the spot, doesn't really know what to say. And so I just, at the end of it, at the end of the 2-minute clip, I said, oh, and let the owner know that we're probably not paying for this job. Like he can send the bill to my lawyer. Like that's, you know, I'm not, and they almost ruined part of my fence the day that they were taking the tree down. So I just kind of thought, you didn't even give me the right quote. Like, you didn't quote the right tree. You're swearing you knocked down half of the string of Christmas lights in the front of the house. You sawed up the neighbor's fence. Like, really? Really? I mean, it's, again, the job was maybe like a $200 thing, and technically they did do the work. But I mean, like, and it's going to take my time and energy to go and hang up my Christmas lights again and fix my fence. We had to kind of pop back into place that was basically swung open. So if I would not have looked outside before letting my dogs out, my front gate was basically wide open when they left. So, I mean, all those kinds of things, I'm just kind of like, that's great that you did the work, yeah, but I'm also looking at it from a service perspective, and that was a shitty experience. So, yeah, no, we're not gonna. I haven't had the bill. Maybe they will bill me, I'm not sure. But certainly, going back to that customer service, ain't what it used to be thing, it's just like, be apologetic, be on it, don't, like, I don't know. And I would have to listen to I don't know that he actually apologized. And like I said, it was the neighbor's fence. So, I mean, him apologizing to me about damaging the neighbor's fence. Okay. But I mean, still, right? You apologize that you did it. You apologize that, you as me as the neighbor, I'm sort of put in this awkward spot because, I mean, yeah, my neighbor could flip out on me and go, what the hell did this company, like, who did you hire? Even though I didn't have anything to do with it, but you just feel like a bad neighbor at that point. So, yeah, I don't even know. It was kind of, and I didn't want to be, but in that moment though, I did. I went and posted on Facebook, on my own page. I called out the company. I posted a picture of the fence that was all sawed up. And I've never really done that before on Facebook. I've never been one of those people who's kind of, I will maybe tweet something to get attention from whatever company because they're not responding to me. I will do that, but never like after the fact about something, like once it's resolved. But for some reason I just kind of felt like, because here's the thing, is that if I wouldn't have called him out on it right there in that moment, he would have he was packing up to leave. He could have called me right in the, right as he was, doing this, or if something happened, or he could have stopped and was like, oh shit, I did the, he was fixing to go, and just, so that's also what kind of, I didn't like that. It seemed slimy. I told the story. I know we've got to go, but we had a company that was cleaning our house many years ago, and the woman, and our fridge has a bunch of magnets on it because something that my grandparents had back in the day. Both my grandparents are dead, but whenever we went on a trip somewhere, all of us, whether it was my aunts, uncles, my brothers, my cousins, me, we would always get them a magnet from the place that we went to. So if I had gone, to Toronto or something, I would get them a magnet from Toronto. So when I started to travel a lot for work, I started to do that just so that I could kind of keep track of all the places that I've gone to. And so she had knocked down one of the magnets from the fridge, the cleaning lady, and broke it. It broke. And so she didn't come and say anything to me. I was at the house while she was cleaning. She didn't come and say anything to me. There was, she didn't leave a note. There was just nothing. I didn't realize it until after she had left. And I think it was her second time cleaning the house. And I kind of felt bad. I know Jerry Seinfeld has this in his bit. When you have the cleaning, like, you feel sort of guilty because you're just sitting on the couch and they're like cleaning around you. So I would go and like tidy up other places of the house just because I didn't want to feel useless. And we were talking, I even gave her some of the free shit that I had from our radio shows back in the day because, companies would send me things. I gave her a backpack for her kid. And so that was kind of like, wait a second, so you just broke something in my house. It was a $5 magnet. Who the fuck cares? But the bottom line is, it could be a big deal. Maybe that was something from my grandma. Maybe that was something from, my honeymoon or whatever. But you didn't tell me. You broke it, you left it on the kitchen table, and then you left. So we noticed it, after she had gone. When she came back, I made sure that it was put on the table again, basically in the same spot. And that was when she came back, she said, I don't know if I mentioned to you, but da-da-da-da-da-da. And I said, no, I noticed that, and no, you didn't. And I said, that's fine, just have the company deduct it from, what we're paying. Well, I can't do that. I'm going to have to pay you out of pocket. And it was almost like she wanted me to go and say, no, that's all right. But I said, okay, great. It was $10. Because I don't think she was expecting to pay. I was like, well, it was like probably $8 or something with the exchange, from Canada to the US. So let's round it up to $10. I don't have the receipt from it, so give me $10. And I think she was almost kind of offended that I made her pay $10 for it too. But I was kind of like, well, but that's sort of like your problem. You did it. I didn't knock it down. I wasn't even in the kitchen the entire time you were over. So how did it happen? And so the same thing with the fence thing. It's kind of like, well, I knew that I wasn't going to pay for it, and I knew that I wasn't going to make the neighbor pay for it. Like, you guys did this. It was I have your guy on video saying that, yes, I did this. So what's going to hold up in court? Right? There we are. So, okay, we're going to take a break. Back on the Scribble right after this.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
I love that we still have the promo for Twitter when it's X. X marks the spot. Twitter. I don't know. It can be called X for the next however many years. I'm still going to call it Twitter. I love reading a news story where it's like, so-and-so posted on X, formerly Twitter. And then the reporter will then go and say that so-and-so tweeted. And I'm like, now I'm confused because you went and differentiated it. You made clear what X is, right? You've clarified. But then you go and say they tweeted. So I'm like, well, did they post or they tweeted? So you're saying that it's not called Twitter anymore, but you're saying they tweeted. So anyway, just very quickly to wrap up the customer service thing. I mentioned I worked at a party supply store. I worked at Party City. And one of the things that I actually kind of liked doing was when somebody was miserable, I would be just overly polite because I knew that would make them even madder. So I would play these kind of games where I was like, I'm not going to let that get to me. Like, they're going to come in, tear me to shreds. And people weren't necessarily that fired up back, 20 years ago with customer service. Now it's a different story. But you would feel good when you helped somebody. Like, if they came in and they didn't even know what they wanted for their kid's party, you just got a good feeling that maybe you spent 20 minutes with them. Maybe you even spent an entire fucking hour with them. But when they were happy when they left, and you felt good about doing that job. And I don't know necessarily that people feel that way now in the service industry. Maybe you'll have the people who are, genuinely happy that they've got a job. Absolutely great. But I don't I almost want to go and survey service people. And whether that's at the fast food counter, you're not putting love into the burger you're flipping. It's very next order, next in line. But, when it comes to the customer service experience, that's kind of what our head office or, the company insisted on. And you wouldn't have it any other way because, I don't know, why would I want to work in a place where it's like, oh, I'm just going to brush people off. Oh, I'm just here to piss them off. That's just sick if you're going to do that. But I don't know. Why would I want to make people miserable than just have them complaining and like I said, we were fortunate to not have people charging in with cell phones in our faces and confronting us, but certainly it was almost like a, I don't know, that you just left there and you're kind of on this like natural high because they were happy, you had a good time helping them, you felt like, I'm going to make their day or whatever, and that's kind of what customer service was back in the day, and I don't know that it's the same. I don't think so. Send me an email. Tell me your thoughts. live@jbonair.com. live@jbonair.com. My name is Jeremy Bradley. This is The Scribble. We're getting close to Christmas. That's all I got. I will talk to you next time, everybody. Bye-bye for now.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some